Welcome to the Corner of Knit and Tea, episode 188. My name is Laura, also known as Fluffy K on Ravelry, Fluffy Kira on Instagram and Twitter. I blog over at the Corner of Knit and Tea, which is where this episode and every episode show notes will be. I have an Etsy shop called the Corner of Knit and Tea, where I sell my handspun yarns, and we have a Ravelry group called the Corner of Knit and Tea. Hi, how are you? It is Sunday, June 24th. It is a not terrible day out. It's in the 80s and kind of overcast, but not crazy hot. We had a few days that were nice and temperate this week in the 70s. We had some rain. The big news here is that we got a new roof. It's not super exciting, but I am happy because it means we won't have to worry about any more leaking. They put that on Thursday and Friday, and I think they're going to do the finishing touches on Monday, and then we will be all set. So that was the big news here this week. Some administration kind of show notes, whatever. This coming weekend, I am going to St. Louis for a pen show. I don't talk about it too much on here, but I am into fountain pens, and St. Louis is holding its inaugural, its first show this year. So I will be doing that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I am going to try and get a podcast done Sunday evening and get it out to you. But if for some reason it's delayed, it will probably be Monday. So just so you know that. The other notes are that we have an upcoming along in the group. We will be spinning for Tour de Fleece. And that is to go along with Tour de France. That is a spinning event, and if you are interested in joining our team, check out the thread in the group. We welcome everyone who's spinning anything. Doesn't matter what fiber or how you spin it. It's just an event to enjoy spinning. It is one of my favorite times of the year. So do come and join us, whether you are a new spinner or a veteran spinner. We would love to have you. So I think that's about it for here. I'll start with the tea. I am drinking David's Tea English Toffee. It was, I believe, from the Christmas box. One of my friends bought one of the Christmas sampler sets and gave me some of the part of some of the samples. So that's English Toffee, and it smells really good. I actually brewed it hot, and I'm using it in my Batman Skills mug. This is artwork by Carl Mountford, and I got it at Society 6. I don't know if he's still got these patterns up there, but that's where you could look. So that is English Toffee. And that is super hot, but very delicious. A lot of good toffee flavor and some black tea underneath. So that one's really good. I might have to order more of that. Anyway, so that is the tea for this week. I feel like I don't have a ton to show you, but I do have a ton of things put aside, so let's get started. The first thing that I'm working on, it is my main project right now, is the Hito Fude cardigan, and that is by, let me pull the name, all the pages. It is by Hiroko Fukatsu, and it is a beautiful lacy cardigan that looks like that. So, and when I talked to you last week, I had just finished the shrug part for the shoulders and was picking up to work on the body. And what I have now is a vaguely sweaterish looking lacy blob. As you know, of course, lace weight looks like a blob before you block it all. So last week I showed you I had the shrug part of the sweater done. And as you can see, I worked, it didn't have the ribbed band around it, which is right here. So I worked that. And then I have worked 5 or 6 pattern repeats down. And I'm working on that now. I have probably another, let me think about this. I think I have another 2, 4, 6, 7 repeats to go. So a ways. And then I have to decide if I want to make it any longer or if that's the right length for me. So we'll have to see. Again, this is kind of, it's like a shrug, and then it's a sweater that has front loops, which you can't really, drapey fronts, which you cannot really see at all. You can kind of see there. Maybe it's dark. Anyway, the yarn is wool mice lace yarn in the colorway Petite Poison. It is a pink and black, or a pink overwashed in black, and I really, really love it, and I love how this is coming out. I have since heard some comments from some people who didn't find the garment that they made super wearable, which gives me pause. But I'm just going to keep going because I'm far enough in that I really don't want to rip out, and I am enjoying knitting it. It is definitely an enjoyable knit, so I am hoping that when it's done I will like it. So that is where I'm at on my Hitofude cardigan. My hope is to finish this by the end of June, so have it ready to show you next weekend. I think odds are so-so on that. We will be driving to St. Louis, so I will have plenty of knit time, but of course I won't have much knit time next weekend because I'll be busy with the pen show. So I don't know, we'll see. I'm hoping to finish it early, finish it by the end of the month, and I'll keep that hope alive, but we'll see what happens this week. So that is project number 1. Project number 2 that I talked about last week was to make Miss Roxy a pair of socks that matched my socks. They're not going to match exactly, but this was with the Northbound Knitting variegated yarn in the colorway Rumpus. Mine had pink at the heels and toes and cuffs, and I did not have enough left, so I just knit Roxy kind of a simple sock in the yarn. So this is sock 1, and I didn't quite make it through sock 2. Sock 2, I just finished the heel turn, so I still have the foot to knit. But I have been working on these in the evening while I have been reading, because except for the heel turn and like the gussets, it's mostly just a roundy project, and I can do that while I read. So I expect that I'll have these done. This one I'll probably finish tomorrow. My guess is I'll read some tonight and some tomorrow night, and by the end of tomorrow night it'll be done. So I missed my deadline just a smidge, but that is Roxy Socks. So for the upcoming week, I'm going to finish Roxy Socks, I'm going to work like the dickens on my Hitofude, and then I have another project that I will be starting. I have been doing some work on the side, knitting some samples, doing some blog posts, doing some different kinds of things, and one of the companies that I have been working with a little bit is Manos del Uruguay, and they sent me a set of their Fino colorways. What they're doing right now is Fino is an extra fine merino silk yarn. It is a single, and it has 490 yards per 100 gram skein. And it is a fingering weight yarn. They are starting to do sets of minis. So it's a set of 5 20 gram skeins. It still adds up to 490 yards. And they sent me the Augusta colorway, which is grays and blues, and it is perfect. It's like a silver and then kind of a robin's egg blue and then kind of a medium gray with some streaks of blue in it, and then a turquoise, and then kind of a like charcoal or slate gray. And I am going to do a sample project, using these as kind of a fade throughout the project. So that is what I'm going to work on this week. Hopefully I'm going to get it done pretty quickly because they need it back fairly quickly. So my plan is to get at least the, I think I'm going to do some fingerless mitts. And so my plan is to get at least the first mitt done this week. I think I will probably slot it in place of Roxy Socks as soon as I finish, so I can work on it in the evenings, and I will definitely take it on my trip with me. I'm probably going to, I'm not going to write my own pattern. I'm probably going to search for a freebie pattern online, and then just adjust it to kind of fade the colors. So that is what I'm working on this week. And again, this is Manos del Uruguay Fino. So I'm excited about that. And it feels beautiful and luscious and soft. So we're going to see how that goes. So the second project I am contemplating, and I just wanted to show you because the yarn got here, I talked about it last week, is the Pismo Beach Pullover by Amanda Schusinger. Sorry. And I saw a beautiful sleeveless version and immediately decided that I needed it, and it was going to be my July project. And I ordered the yarn from Webs, and what I ordered is Katia Air Luxe, and it is an extra fine merino, and it is 70% viscose and 70% wool. So, and I got it in this kind of metallic teal colorway. So you know me, I'm a teal lover, and I think it's just going to be gorgeous and a beautiful blue top for the summer. So that is what I hopefully will get to cast on. If I finished my projects, I would get to cast it on next weekend. I suspect that it will not be until the following week, but that is what I'm going to do in July. So that's the knitting. Let's take a sip of tea and move on to spinning. Last week I still had to ply my spin. I showed it to you on the bobbin. So I will show you. This is the Into the World Merino and Silk. It was a 50-50 blend, and it was in the colorway Quoth. And that is blacks and teals and purples. And if you can't see it very well, I did put up some photos on Instagram. I popped it over in the shop, so if that is something you are interested in, it is available. I think I got right around 400 yards, and it ranges between fingering and sport. And it is beautiful. It would make a lovely shawlette. It is just so wonderful close to the skin. It is dark and moody, but it does have pops of teal. I don't know how well you can see that, but there are definitely pops of teal and purple in there. So that was from last week. This week I spun a braid by Hello Yarn. It was in the Urchin colorway, and it was yellows and peaches and pinks and some blues, and that one is going to be plied today. Today is my spinning Sunday, and so I am heading over to a friend's house in a few hours, and it's a group that in Kansas that meets the last Sunday of the month most months, and I will be working on Urchin today. Like I said, it's yellows and peaches and pinks and blues. It's a little bit hard to see. I wound it into a center pull ball, which is how I usually ply my spins. For 2-ply, I also stripped the fiber to get maximum barber pulling, so I tore it into 8 strips and then spun those strips, and now I will ply and I will get lots of color interplay. So I'm very excited about that one. I will bring that to show you next week, and this one will go up in the shop as well. So that's today. I haven't decided if I'm going to do another spin this week, because I'm only going to be here the first few days of the week before I go to the pen show, and because I have so much knitting to do, I think I'm kind of going to try and focus on that. So I think I probably won't spin again until the following week, which will be kind of the week leading up to Tour de Fleece. And one of my, I went through my bins looking for things that I had forgotten I owned, and one of the things I had forgotten I owned was, for a little while I was in the Blue Moon Fiber Arts Sock Club, where they released an 8-ounce braid of fiber so that you could spin 4 socks. And I had forgotten that I kept this one. This is 50% yak, 50% cultivated silk, 8 ounces. The colorway is Metacalypse, so like metal apocalypse, and it is kind of in a muted rainbow. It's got greens and yellows and a blue and some red in there that you can't really see, like a reddish orange, and it is yak and silk, and it is crazy luxurious, and my guess is it's going to spin fairly fine, and I pulled it out because why not? So I expect that this is going to be a somewhat challenging spin for me, because the yak and the yak is really short stapled and the silk is really fine, and I suspect I'm going to have to definitely get rid of all the little I'm gonna have to use a lot of lotion and get rid of all the little snags on my skin so that I don't snag the fiber, you know, just hangnails and little bits of things, much as though I were spinning full silk. Anyway, but this is a beautiful braid, and this one will be destined for the shop. My assumption is that it will, I mean, yak and silk would make really warm fuzzy socks, and the silk would help them be super durable, but my assumption is that nobody will want to use this for their socks, so I'm thinking this would just be a beautiful shawl. I don't know exactly how I'm going to spin it, whether I'm going to spin it like straight through and just get color repeats, or what, I haven't decided, but this is the next spin on the wheel, so if this is something that interests you, let me know. Like I said, it will definitely be going up in the shop. Speaking of the shop, the only other promotion that I will do for that is I kind of had a get real talk with myself over my handspun stash this weekend, and I am photographing and measuring a bunch of skeins that I had said I was going to keep for myself and putting them up in the shop, because even though I've kept them for myself, I haven't done anything with them, and so I am going to add them to the shop. Some of them are really beautiful and were fiber that I can't get again, so you might keep an eye out if there was anything that I spun and said I was keeping for myself that you liked. I think I pulled aside 4 skeins, so I'm gonna get those up in the shop this week, and I will announce it on Instagram when I do. So I think that's it for this week. When I come talk to you next weekend, I will start bringing some of my Tour de Fleece spins. I already have some very well picked out. And then maybe the week after that, I will show some prizes. Tour de Fleece starts on Saturday, July 7th. So be ready to start spinning. Only one more podcast until we're there. And if you have any questions or concerns, please let me know. Oh, the other knit along that I was sort of semi-pseudo talking about, and I hadn't necessarily decided to do prizes for it, but I was gonna knit Christmas socks in July, because I never get around to knitting them when I wait until Thanksgiving or Christmas to knit them. If you are interested in joining me, let me know, and we could do either an informal knit along, or if there are enough people interested, I could just do a knit along. And you'd be welcome to double dip for Sock It to Summer or whatever else you're knitting for. So I think that does it for me. I hope that you have a wonderful week ahead, and until I see you again, I will say happy knitting, happy spinning, happy sipping, and I'll see you next time. Bye.